Okay, this is Ringwalk Media, an association with Red Lion Specialist Cars, Highland Whiskey Clan, and MJ Catterall. We have an MBE in the house, Mr. Johnny Nelson. Hi, sir. I always remember that.
I keep forgetting. It's when you say, I'm like, oh yeah.
So you walk around with a right big one going on.
That's me.
Well, listen, here we go. Very interesting start to fight week. Been a little bit reserved, no aggravation. But what's your view on what's happened so far this week?
You know what? It's hard because I've really got a soft spot for Conor. I've always had a soft spot for Conor, and even when he's going through his trials and tribulations, I'm like, he's. You can understand him, you get him, you see where he's going. Whereas Chris is very aloof. So let's take personalities out of it, what we personally think. Then you look at the facts. The facts are Chris is naturally a bigger guy.
Yeah.
You look at the age he's at, you look at the fights he's been in, you look at the stages in his career. Then you look at Conor coming through. Conor's not boxed for 15 months. He's had all the traumas that could affect that.
Yeah.
But now he's at this point here. You know, he's full circle. Chris comes across as the kind of guy that he doesn't. The world of boxing is not his favourite place because he has an opinion of people involved in boxing for one reason or another through his experiences of life. Like Conor, the world of boxing, you look at him and you think, you know what, there's just something about that kid. Now, this is forgetting all the scandal connected to anybody and everybody. You're looking at the individuals. Now, you look at these two fighters in the ring. You look at them when they're moving around. You'd expect it to lean towards Chris because Chris is naturally a bigger guy. He's operated in higher levels. But then you look at Conor. Lord, look at what he's done to experienced fighters. And the experienced fighters he's for, he's got rid of them. So Conor now, it's about this fight. Every fight is a bogeyman. Conor's style is very low, attacking, coming up like a shark. Where Chris has got an engine. You know, he's the taller one of the two, and fitness is never going to be an issue in this fight for either fighter. It's going to be about tactics, and size may matter.
Who do you think it means more to?
Oh God, it means more to Chris. Chris can't afford to lose to Conor. Not in a million years. He cannot afford to lose to him because he's now talking about fighting Canelo.
Canelo, yeah.
If you want to put your name in the same sentence to these people, you need to be getting rid of people like Conor. So it means more to Chris because Conor can say, well, I'm moving back to welterweight. That's who I am.
Do you think he will though? Because if he has a devastating,
he will. Welterweight, light middleweight, probably that. We'll just see how he feels, see what he's like, see how he affects. You've got to look at the size being compared to all the other light middleweights around there. And you've just got to see how he rolls. But we'll see. But Conor has the option, whereas Chris can only go up.
I think there was something very interesting that Chris Eubank said, I think it was yesterday, it might have been yesterday. Conor's last couple of fights have been at 155.5, so he's only sort of £4, £5 off where they're going to. Do you think that's helped Conor, or do you think that's hindered him?
I think it's helped Conor, and I think this whole thing about the weight for Chris, I think it's a smoke screen.
Yeah.
Because we're all running along the fact that, oh my God, how's he going to make the weight? He's going to be weak. How's he going to manage this? Chris was in the driving seat when it comes to negotiations for this fight.
Yeah, he was.
So therefore, he's not going to negotiate himself in a position where he's going to be at a disadvantage and possibly lose to Conor Benn. Don't be surprised if the Saturday morning when he's got to weigh a certain amount, don't be surprised if he's over and he says, here, I'm paying the fine, take it. The fight's still going on no matter what.
Well, that was my next question. Do you think that might happen?
Yes, I do. I think there's a strong possibility that might happen. You get a bottle of water, bottle of water, that £10 is almost done.
Yeah.
You know, you get. So what I'm saying to you is, as far as I'm concerned, it's a strong possibility.
And is there a possibility that Conor could say, actually, you're too far over, I'm not fighting you?
No possibility at all. No? Not at all.
He'd get in at 175, wouldn't he?
Chris knows this fight's happening no matter what, especially at this stage now. He knows it is. And he knows, you know, if in the contract saying you've got to weigh this, and if you don't weigh this, there's a fine, I'll say, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I've just given 50 grand to an undercard of fights that don't even belong to me.
Yeah, so he's not bothered about the money in any way, shape or form. It's all about the pride, I guess. Well, I mean, look, we've had a couple of very reasonable days here. Start of fight week with Ring Magazine and the Sheikhs, and they put on a big show as always. Most of the fighters have been quite reserved. We had the first sort of public workout today, public as in it was on our TV screens, of course. Can you take anything from either or? You know, they don't really go for it in the public workout, but is there anything that you saw between the two of them?
Not at all. As I said, Conor's style, he comes from down low, comes up like a shark attacking you. Chris, he'll do as little as possible, spends a lot of time putting the boots on, putting the bandages on, putting the gloves on, tip-a-tap, tip-a-tap. I spoke to Chris's coach, and Chris said, and he's just said, look, but for both fighters, it's about what's going on in there. It's not about the physicality of it, it's about who wants it the most. And that's Chris's coach. That's what Jonathan's saying. You know, that's what he's, and that's what it's about. And he just said it's who wants it the most.
Do you think Conor can keep his cool all week? Because Chris is clearly going to start playing around.
Yes, without a doubt. Conor is naturally an aggressive individual. Naturally wears his heart on his sleeve. So if you talk shit to him, he's going to give you back. He's not going to play no fools. Whereas Chris seems very calculated. You saw what Chris was like when he was on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan getting on anybody's nerves. And Conor, he orchestrated him, he controlled him, he managed to dumb him down. And he did the same with Conor. So Chris knows exactly. He's calculating everything what he's saying and doing.
Yeah, well, it's boding for a very, very cool end to the week, my friend. Couple of the other fights I want to talk about very quickly, because I know you want to go home, get some food and all the rest of it. Lyndon Arthur back in again on the trilogy. This is a very interesting fight that's kind of gone under the radar a little bit.
Really good fight. These two have been in. They've danced the dance before with each other. Lyndon Arthur's that light heavyweight in the UK that people seem to forget. He doesn't get the highlight. He
went 12 rounds with Bivol.
Yeah, that's right, and still don't get the credit that he deserves. So for Lyndon, he's his chance on such a platform to get it together. And so you've got to give it Riyadh season. They're putting the fights, even on the domestic level, because this show is a domestic show.
Yeah.
The head of the top of the bill, you know, it's big to us in the UK. That's why it's so like Tottenham. Around the world, won't be a ripple. But this domestically has done its job. The whole show domestically has done its job. So every fighter, Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Yard, everybody that's on it, Vidal Uradi, everybody that's on it, they're all thinking, you know what? It's a great platform to try and show off to say this is what I'm about.
Yeah. So that fight, who do you think is going to be victorious with that? Because I think they both learned from both of the fights. They're going to be different fighters.
I think it's a case of who's got what left.
Okay.
You know, it's who's got what left, and that's why they're fighting. They're doing it again now. Both fighters have been in fights where they've lost. They've had lumps knocked off them. So it's a case of who's got what left.
And then Aaron McKenna against Beefy.
Oh my God.
Now, very underestimated Aaron McKenna. He is a very, very powerful middleweight. He's really come up. He's 19-0. Beefy, of course, has got the experience, former world champion. You know, he knows what he's doing, but has he got enough in the tank for young Aaron?
Yeah, and that's a problem. Youth.
Yeah.
The only thing Aaron's got on him is youth. And that's it. And no matter what, no matter how much knowledge you've got and skill you've got, if you've got somebody that's got youth and pace about them, they're going to get you. They're going to get the better of you. So McKenna's got to be smart. If he uses his youth, his movement, his energy, he wins. If he doesn't, he gets laid out. I mean, laid out.
Yeah.
So it's youth. That's the only thing that he's got on his side.
I think that's going to be a really, really good fight to watch.
I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great fight. So it's about Liam controlling him and McKenna making sure he controls the pace.
Now, listen, very quickly, Ben Whittaker finally got over the Liam Cameron thing. I actually thought Ben looked very good all week. I thought he looked very good in the ring. He was back to the old Ben Whittaker. In the press conference, he sort of said the same. He's been with Andy Lee, kind of got him back to himself. You know, what do you think Ben Whittaker can now go on and do? Because I was really impressed with him as a person and as a boxer.
I think Ben Whittaker needs to establish himself on the domestic scene as domestic king. So he needs to go through the paces. There are still other domestic derbies that he can be involved in. He doesn't want to waste his time too much down there fighting domestic derbies. But what he does need to make sure that every fight means something. The fight with Liam Cameron was about Ben getting his act in order again and saying, you know what, I dropped the ball. And I understand why he did that. This guy was turned into a very wealthy young man before he'd even done anything. So he took his eye off the ball. And he learned that. He actually said that afterwards.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, so now he understands what he's capable of doing, what he has to do to achieve what he wants to do. So he needed that.
And also what he doesn't need to do.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's better that the Liam Cameron saga happened now than 19 fights down the line when he's in line to fight for world title.
Now listen, a little bird has been telling me things, right? You might not tell me anything, but I hear that there might be a little bit of promotion going on very soon with you, mister.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you not at all?
No. Only time will tell that story.
Well, whatever you're up to, mate, it's always cracking to see you. I'd like a prediction off you, if I may, and don't sit on the fence. Who's going to win?
If you ask me on Friday, I'll give you my prediction. I'll stick to it. Ask me Friday. I want to see them both on the scales.
Whoa,
I've got head and heart.
If you had to pick
Head
now,
and heart. Head says Chris. Heart says Conor.
but Friday you'll know.
So Friday I'll know.
Right, well, we're going to come and speak to you on Friday, Johnny.
You will.
It's an absolute pleasure to always speak to you, my friend, and thank you so much for your time. Have a brilliant week, mate.
Anytime. Sweet.